I have never publicly read on this particular case. There's a lot of moving parts, and for me, even though it has been tried and there's been a conviction, there's something that feels unfinished. Hello there, everyone. I'm Lady Zelda, and here with the House of Zelda and Seeing Crime, and today I'm reading on the Idaho 4. Now, before we get started, I know there's been a conviction. I know there was a trial. I know all of that. And I am just heartbroken for the families and for the victims. But there's something that just feels so unfinished. And I can't help it. It's just, I feel like I'm being tapped on the shoulder. So I decided I was going to look, and I figured I may as well bring you along with me. There's a lot of different things with this case. And probably that's why I didn't read on it, because I believe there's a lot of missing parts, and perhaps maybe on purpose. I'm not here to accuse. I'm not saying that at all. I'm here because I have some questions. And the first thing is, there's some unresolved voids and some energetic gaps. And I'm reading the energy now on this. Now, I have 3 decks of cards. I'm going to do kind of a little, what I call my own personal forensic speed read, because it many times will lead into something more. I have my big tarot deck. You haven't seen that in a long time. The Kipper deck and the House of Zelda Crime and Shadow deck. So my question is this, as we get started. There's an extremely tight window for 4 victims. I'm not judging, okay? The timeline, I mean, that seems, I have questions about how can one person go in and do this with 4 victims in this small time period. So there was minimal noise to a certain degree, but you know, they keep releasing these audio, all kinds of different things. We've got some House of Zelda cards in here. That's fine. I'm going to use that. Travel. Yeah. There seems, and I think the reason that card came out was because, I mean, there's travel in time. There's travel there. It's all about the flow, interruption, possibly assistance. And this is how I'm going to do it. Now, I have shuffled all these cards. So I'm going to do it this way. The family room. Was this person in the family room? I'm just going to come out and say it. I've always felt that there was someone else involved. Someone else besides the person. And I know you're going to ask me, but why with this and that? I don't know. Here is another card that came out, the Hanged Man. And that's telling us to look at things from a different perspective. Okay, so now the house itself. It's a high traffic location, multiple people in and out. And energetically, it just feels so open, but not controlled and contained. What is that about? Let's see. A decision was made to go into this place and do what was needed to be done. That's what I'm hearing. And I feel one of the victims, there was something connected, and please don't, I'm not accusing any of the victims either. I don't want you to think that. But there's something there that just doesn't make sense. It just is, it's just too much. Looking at it from a different perspective, and then we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Wheel of Fortune. Well, there's 4 victims. And the Wheel of Fortune definitely was going down, because in a case like this fellow right here is a collector of souls. And see, here's the other thing. The surviving roommates delayed the emergency call. Weighing things out. Weighing what the ramifications would be. Weighing how things would happen. See, and I understand. I mean, a lot of people act, I'm not blaming that at all. A lot of people act and react differently during shock. See, there's some conflicting reports around the awareness. I'm not accusing. I'm trying to understand the perception versus the reality of this. Despair, yeah. And you know, that could definitely, I mean, when you've witnessed something like that, and depending upon the circumstances of the surviving roommates, it definitely could have just been shock. Let's see. Coming together and understanding that there was medical that needed to be, but also a life force taken. And I get that because she's wearing the robes of the high priestess, who all water in the tarot flow from the high priestess, and water is the life force. There is the medical and someone trying to help. I cannot help but think that there was someone else there, because there was no clear forced entry. And plus, I also feel that there was just this familiarity about the layout of the house. Was this random? See, there's a confession. And we didn't get that, really. I mean, we did sort of from Brian Kohlberger, but we really didn't hear the details because he pled, so we didn't hear. Why was that? And by the way, if you hear some noise in the background, little Shaggy got a new toy for Christmas. And this little sweet furry boy has just been obsessed, and I'm just letting him play. And thank you so much for allowing that. And I hope it is not too annoying, but you know how that is. I'm certainly not going to stop him. He deserves to be playing, right? But back to this. Was there someone else there that knew? And it was someone who traveled. See, I've always felt in my mind's eye, because I don't know that much about the details of the case, except that there are some voids. And I believe that someone traveled because, see, they traveled to get there. What was that all about? What don't we know? Let me move these up so you can see better. What don't we know? That someone was able to do this and walk away. Did they leave Brian holding the bag? See, here's another thing. No clean motive. I mean, what was the motive for all 4? It just feels so overdetermined for this single explanation of And it just leaves this emotional and logical void. So yeah, someone went to prison for this, and it's Brian Kohlberger. He was involved. He needs to be there, without a doubt. But I question this only because he's not a big guy. I mean, we don't know how adrenaline stacks up, but the timing between the four of them, all right. This has been a very controlled information flow, and they're sending out things, bits and pieces to us. Definitely more about the house. It just seems so unfinished and so unresolved. Was there one more person? I'm going to ask the question. Was there another person involved? I mean, think about this. They went in, the crime scene, and then they demolished the house immediately. I've got so many unanswered questions here. The Queen of Pentacles. Do I think that there was some type of money involved with another party? And of course, there's some things going on with Brian Kohlberger, but I've always felt that there was money involved. Always. Yes, that's Shaggy. I'm sorry. I just believe that there's one layer of this story that's never been addressed. And I know some of you are going to come at me, what's new? And I don't mean it that way. And I'm not blaming anyone. It's done and over with, and may all of them rest in peace. My goodness, it's shattering for the family and them. But did the police really do what they were supposed to have done? Did they just nail Brian Kohlberger and that's it, and then just let it go? That's my question. This is where the cards come in, because look, see, this is someone running as though they got away with something, and that's my question. I mean, Brian Kohlberger was there. He played a part. He needs to be here. But why isn't he talking? Where's the money? Let's see. High honors. Well, did he do this? Because there are some people that do this so they can get the attention. Is he one of these people? I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Here's the question. Was the investigation forced to simplify things? Strength, an infinite amount of strength. But this is a card of also the card of Leo. I don't know the signs of the four, and I'm sorry, and Brian Kohlberger, because I didn't want to read on them. I wanted to read on the case itself, and that's what it's all about. But this is also a card of being able to put the pieces together and have them fit. How do we know that? Well, you see the curve in her back, and yet you see the curve in this kitty's back. And the fact that this woman has been able to overcome a particular thing with this lion. Let's just, I'm going to ask this. Well, there came out the card. Oh my goodness. And look, this card comes out all the time. And I guess I'm convinced that when this card comes out, things are not resolved. There's been someone who has been watching. There's someone. Do I believe that this person will ever get caught? No. No. I believe it's done. I believe it's over. I don't believe that the person will ever come forward. Okay, my darlings, last card. And we're going to ask, what is it that we are supposed to see? If you give me a card and say it's over, then great. If you don't, then great too. Taking this card. The house. We have 2 house cards here, my darlings, and rightfully so. What else are we supposed to know? How can we... The main female. These 2 come out. Who is the main female? Last card, my darlings. I'm just going to take it that I feel the 4 is in a good place. That obviously there was justice, but I still have open questions. And I'm sure that many of you know so much more about this case than I do, but I just keep getting these little twinges constantly. So we're going to leave it at that. We're not celebrating these 4 victims, except for they were amazing young people that did not deserve this. May they rest in peace. My darlings, let me know in the comments. What do you think? Do you think there's anything missing, or do you just think it's done and over and cut and dried? I'm not trying to regurgitate this and bring anything more up. I just keep seeing things. And I want to know what you think. Obviously, I just think there's someone else associated that traveled, that the police maybe even ignored. They got who they thought should serve justice. No shade on the police, no shade on anyone at all. Let me know in the comments, and please do me a favor, like and subscribe. Please view some of my other videos. We're not here to judge or accuse. We're not here for political views. We are here to just ask questions, and that's what we do. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you again soon.